Okay, so I've got a request here to demonstrate how to put a chip in, but before I go into that, I wanted to kind of go over some things about chips. First of all, this is just basically a power board right here, and it's got your two different styles of plugs. You've got your pin plug, which is just a pin decoder you plug right in, or you've got this style here, which plugs in just like that. There are different styles and brands of decoders. We usually use Digitrax. This one's a DH163. This means that it has 6 functions. So not only does it have headlight, front and back, but I've also got a function 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Most of your boards are going to look something like this. Generally on these style of boards, the outside ones are going to be your power, and then your inside ones, that's going to be your forward light and your reverse light, or vice versa, and this is going to be your motor. So this one here is just like a 2 decoder chip. And here's just one. You can pick these up. Like I said, usually they come with wires. Some of them have the pin plugs for them, some of them don't. Some of them are just bare wires. Those are generally for the Athearn style. The Athearn style I don't really care for, just for the simple fact that these motors are, I don't know if they're just power hungry, but they tend to get the chips rather hot. So I've tried not converting older style Athearns unless it's an engine that I really like. And plus you have to pull this motor out and put a different band on here, which means you have to hold the spring in here, and it's just it's a real pain. But I mean, there are obviously, I'm sure, worse engines to work on. Steam engines and smaller switcher engines, we have a lot smaller chips. I don't actually have one to show you at this point, but they're little Z-scale and N-scale decoders. They get to be, you know, really small. Those are the ones I usually use for my steam engines. Any like cramped spaces where there's a lot of body and shell, you know, and there's just not a lot of room in there, so I'll put little chips in there. So that's something you want to know before we get started. Another thing, if you're going to be doing any kind of soldering, I do recommend you use a very thin gauge silver solder wire, because if you use larger scale gauge wire like this, I'm sorry, not wire, solder, you know, you're going to get big glops of solder, and then you're going to connect your things together and possibly ruin your connection. Alright, so that concludes that. Thank you.